Here is a tale of an unfaithful man who was having an affair with a ghost. In a quiet African village, where the traditions of the ancestors were revered and the spirits of the past walked alongside the living, there lived a man named Sumo. Sumo was well respected in the village, known for his charm and strong family values. He was married to Amma, a woman of grace and wisdom who was the pillar of their home. Together, they had 3 children, and their family seemed like the epitome of happiness. But beneath the surface of this idyllic life, Sumo harbored a dark secret. Despite his love for Amma, he found himself drawn to another woman, a mysterious beauty who appeared only at night. She was unlike anyone in the village, with a strange allure that Sumo could not resist. Her skin was as pale as moonlight, her eyes deep pools of sorrow, and her voice, a haunting melody that echoed in his dreams. No one else in the village seemed to know of her, and Sumo could never find her during the day. Driven by his desire, Sumo would leave his home at night, under the pretense of tending to his duties. He would walk deep into the forest, where the woman would await him by a sacred tree. Each night, she would welcome him with open arms, and they would spend hours together, talking, laughing, and sharing intimate moments. Sumo was bewitched by her, oblivious to the growing coldness that seeped into his soul each time he was with her. Amma, though, was no fool. She noticed the change in her husband, the distance in his eyes, the weariness in his step, and the way he would avoid her touch. She began to suspect that he was seeing someone else, and her heart ached with the betrayal. Determined to find out the truth, she sought the counsel of an elder in the village, a wise woman who was said to have a deep connection with the spirit world. The elder listened to Amma's concerns and agreed to help. She gave Amma a special charm, a small amulet made from the bones of a revered ancestor, and instructed her to place it under Kofi's pillow. "This charm will reveal the truth," the elder said, "but be prepared for what you may discover." That night, Amma followed the elder's instructions. When Sumo returned home, exhausted and cold, he collapsed into bed without noticing the charm. As he slept, Amma stayed awake, watching him with a mixture of love and fear. As the night deepened, the strange thing happened. Sumo began to speak in his sleep, his words a jumbled mix of longing and sorrow. Suddenly, a cold wind swept through the room, and the air grew thick with a presence that was not of this world. Amma felt a chill run down her spine as a figure appeared at the foot of the bed, the same woman who had ensnared Sumo's heart. But this time, she was different. Her beauty was still there, but her form was translucent, her features blurred and shifting like mist. Amma realized with horror that this woman was no mere mortal, she was a ghost, a restless spirit from the world beyond. The ghost turned her sorrowful gaze on Amma, and in that moment, Amma understood the depth of Sumo's betrayal. He had not only been unfaithful to her, but he had also crossed the boundaries between the living and the dead, entangling himself with a spirit who had no place in their world. The ghost spoke, her voice filled with a haunting sadness. "He promised to love me, to be with me forever. But I cannot cross into the world of the living, and he cannot stay in mine. We are doomed to be apart." With those words, the ghost began to fade, her form dissolving into the night. Amma watched as the spirit disappeared, leaving behind only the cold emptiness of the room. Sumo woke with a start, his eyes wide with fear and confusion. He saw the amulet under his pillow and realized that Amma knew everything. Amma confronted Sumo, her voice trembling with the weight of her discovery. "You have betrayed me, not just with another woman, but with a spirit. You have brought darkness into our home, and now we must pay the price." Sumo fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. He begged for forgiveness, swearing that he had been under a spell, that he had not known the true nature of the woman he had been with. But Amma knew that some things could not be undone. The bond between them had been shattered, and the spirits of the ancestors would not take kindly to such transgressions. The village elder was called to cleanse their home, to drive away the lingering presence of the ghost. But the damage had been done. Sumo was a broken man, haunted by the memory of the ghost and the loss of his wife's trust. Ama, though strong, could not forget the betrayal, and their once happy home was now a place of sorrow and regret. In time, Sumo and Ama continued to live together, but the warmth between them was gone. The villagers whispered about the man who had been unfaithful with a ghost, and the tale became a cautionary story passed down through generations, a reminder that some desires, once pursued, can lead to a path of no return. If you enjoyed this tale, kindly like, share and subscribe. It will be my pleasure.